Brothers and sisters, greetings and peace be upon you. Salamun alaikum, shalom, bonjour, ya Ali, all the greetings in the world out there. I'm just going to test if my live feed is working because... Excellent, okay, it's working. As I have promised you, my weekly show will continue on this very page every Sunday at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And the aim from these programs is to, number one, raise awareness about what really lies within the books that form the violent Sharia law that lead to the beheading of our citizens and the innocents around the world. And also, we need to educate ourselves in what is harmful to us and our children, so that we may know how to take precaution when it comes to dealing with this ideology. It is not harmful to educate ourselves in what is harmful. It is wise for us to understand what exactly lies within these books. Now, many reformers are reformers because they are Muslim, not because they have actually spent a time studying within the seminaries. Not that it is a requirement that one needs to have some sort of degree in order to stand against ISIS, but I think the world we live in is more interested in stamped documents from radical institutes than the actual truth that lies within the very books. This here between my two hands is the manual for every single Muslim on the face of the earth. Every single Muslim believes in what I am holding between my two hands. They may indirectly or directly believe in it. Meaning we may have a minority of Muslims that say, well, we don't believe in all of this, but they believe in books that depend on sources from these four books. Firstly, we have the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran is the holy book for all of the Muslims around the world, regardless of denomination, sect or group. All Muslims believe in the Holy Quran. If someone does not believe in the Holy Quran, then they are not Muslim. They have to believe in the Holy Quran. We will not be interpreting the Holy Quran, but that will be a separate program. I have here 4 volumes of Sahih al-Bukhari. If you had watched my appearance on the Andrew Bolt show, you would have seen that I had brought one of these volumes and I read from the volume, I referred to one of the volume, to what was written in one of the volumes. And it was very shocking for the nation as to what exactly lies within these books. The ABC Media Watch turned around and said, the statements of Imam Tawhidi are plain crazy. Well, I guess they're just proving our point, that indeed, what lays within these books and leads to our deaths is plain crazy. The problem is, you do not have access to these books. The problem is, even if you had access to these books, you would not be able to understand the literature within these books. Today, I want you to know what exactly lies within the books that are considered sacred right after the Holy Quran. In every mosque, or in the majority of mosques, and the majority of Muslim libraries and schools, the Holy Quran is placed right next to Sahih al-Bukhari. That is because Sahih al-Bukhari interprets the Holy Quran. Especially volume 3 from Sahih al-Bukhari that focuses on the Quranic interpretation. It teaches us Muslims how to live our lives, what ethics we need to abide by, and what exactly makes us good human beings. This is the manual that we have. Now I understand that some will say, well, the Bukhari is a Sunni author, and the Bukhari is respected by Sunnis, and I'm a Shi'ite. So how is it that the Bukhari applies to me in my daily life? The answer is very simple. The Bukhari has influenced all of the tafsirs, the interpretations of the Holy Quran for all Islamic denominations, regardless whether they be Ahmadiyya, Sunni, Zaydi, or Shi'ite. All Shi'ite scholars take from interpretations of the Holy Quran that depended upon the Bukhari as a source in one way or another. This book has influenced every school of thought, and even grand ayatollahs within the Shi'ite school of thought, such as Fadlullah, Khamenei, Khomeini, and also lecturers such as Ahmad al-Wa'ili. All of them refer to this book and they abide by it. Some may call them undercover Sunni, undercover Wahhabi. That is understandable. But that's not what I am saying. I am saying this book is a book that has led to the deaths of many people. This is a formula of war. This is what has made Islam a religion of war. This is what needs to be banned. Now obviously, with 4 volumes between my hands, I'm not going to be able to analyze each and every volume within this episode. But we are going to skim through these 4 volumes to find out what exactly is this book like, what was the line of thinking of this author, what on earth was he thinking when he compiled this, and why are the Muslims silent. But before I come into speaking about the Bukhari, it is worth asking a question. How come the Muslims who don't speak Arabic, other than the Imams, and how come the Muslims who don't speak Arabic completely, and how come non-Muslims, university teachers who have studied Islam and received degrees in Islam, how come they haven't come across this? Why is it that we are now learning about this Bukhari? The answer is very simple. When you go to a Muslim bookstore and you say, can you give me a copy of the Bukhari? You would expect to get this, but instead they will give you this. They'll give you 1 volume that is made up of Arabic and English. They have cherry-picked and selected for you and translated for you what they want you to read from Sahih al-Bukhari. They do not want you to read everything within Sahih al-Bukhari. As you can see, they have titled it Sahih al-Bukhari, the early years of Islam. And they explain and translate. But this is not al-Bukhari. This is a small compilation from what they want you to know about Bukhari. This is the real Bukhari. We who seek knowledge want to know what forms this radical ideology. We want to know what's in the book. Therefore, let's get into it. Muslims go around the world rioting, killing people, because they believe that their Prophet Muhammad has been insulted. I'd just like to double check if the voice is actually reaching you. Brothers, my dear friends, brothers and sisters, if you can hear me clearly before I get into the topic, can you please type 1 for me? Just some of you give me 1. I'm reading the comments. Just a 1, thank you very much. If you can hear me, can you please confirm? Okay, excellent. We've received confirmation. The Muslims say that Prophet Muhammad is the best role model. They say that Prophet Muhammad is the best human being and that we should all follow him. I, as a Muslim, believe that. Why? Because I believe that the Prophet Muhammad, that I believe in, my version of the Prophet Muhammad, is someone who respects the Jews and loves the Christians and honors the atheist and allows churches and synagogues within his government. The problem with my version of Muhammad is that only a minority follow it. The majority follow a different Muhammad. And when I say majority, I do not mean 5 to 50%. I mean 95% of the Muslims believe in the Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad portrayed in the Bukhari. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. All books of history refer to the Bukhari. So let's find out, what really is Muhammad like according to the Bukhari, according to the faith of the Grand Mufti, according to the faith of television celebrities that are Muslim in this country, according to the faith of activists within America. All of these Muslims who go and say that Prophet Muhammad was an environmental activist, a human rights activist. Okay, I don't disagree, but is that the Muhammad you believe in? Or are you changing fates every time you're subjected to a question that you cannot answer? So you change faith in order to answer that question. The Prophet Muhammad that the majority of the people speak about and fight for and defend is not the Muhammad they believe in as an ideology. There's a big difference between the Prophet Muhammad in the actual sacred scriptures and the Prophet Muhammad that is portrayed as a prophet to the West by 95% of the Muslims. The Muhammad that is being portrayed in the West is a Muhammad I reject. I do not believe in that prophet. I believe in a version that the minority believe in. And this is what reformers want. Reformers say, get rid of these role models that you have formed and you believe in. Get rid of them and start rethinking what a prophet should be like, because that will influence your ethics and your culture as Muslims. But they do not want that. They want to stick to the Muhammad that they have been brought up listening to. But the sad news is, it's all a fake. The Muhammad Linda Sarsour mentions is not the Muhammad she believes in. Today, I'd like to show you what exactly is written within these books regarding Prophet Muhammad, regarding their noble prophet. What exactly do these books say? I'll start with volume 1. And I know the techniques of the radicals. These books are a big surprise to them. That now Tawhidi, Imam Tawhidi is now on live showing the West what these books contain. And the Imams, as I speak, do not underestimate this. As I speak, the Imams are contacting each other right now, without a doubt. And they will hold an emergency meeting as to what to do with Imam Tawhidi. Because I know how my community will react. So before they start saying this is a fake cover and the inside is not the real Bukhari, I'll have to show you up close that this is the Bukhari. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. And this here is volume 1. And I will show you the license of the publication. Just for the record, you can pause the video later on. This was printed in Beirut, Lebanon, and it was printed by the publisher Dar al-Kutub al-Almiya. It was printed in 2014, and it is titled Sahih al-Bukhari, The Correct and Authentic Traditions of al-Bukhari, and it contains prophetic hadith. This is volume 1. This is exactly what I was taught. Let me show you why I had to rebel against the school of thought that once upon a time wanted me to be a missionary to the West. So you can understand why these statements are being issued against me, saying I'm a fake. I'm a fake because I left this. We don't need to go too deep into the book. First volume. And let's look at the first 100 pages within the book. Page 45 of this very book, volume 1, and segment 5, it is called Bab al-Takhfifi fi al-Wudu'. It speaks about the purification and purity of oneself before engaging in any form of prayer. Muslims wash themselves 5 times a day, meaning they wash the face, they wash the hands first, then the face, Then they come to the two arms and wipe on the head, and then they wipe on the feet. This is called the ablution. It's called the wudu. The wudu. It's also pronounced wuzu or wudu. It is a must. There is no prayer accepted in Islam without that purification beforehand. They mention the Prophet Muhammad. They themselves, 95% of the Muslims believe in this. They say that the Messenger of God, Muhammad, came to a house, and I will recite in Arabic. ثم اضطجع فنام حتى نفخ. He laid down, slept, and began to snore. ثم أتاه المنادي. Then the caller for prayer, the person who wakes him up for prayer, came to the Prophet Muhammad. And he said to him, it is time to pray. فقام معه إلى الصلاة. Therefore the Prophet Muhammad woke up and went with the person who woke him up to go and pray together. فصلى ولم يتوضأ. And Prophet Muhammad prayed without washing himself, without purifying himself. This shows you that the Prophet who taught these 95% of the Muslims to wash themselves before praying, he himself does not wash himself. He himself is a hypocrite. And he himself has no prayer that is accepted. This is what they believe in. This is the hypocrisy within the Bukhari. Now we Shia, we don't even believe the Prophet needs wudu to begin with. The Prophet and Imam Ali, they don't need wudu. They are pure. Jesus, Moses, all messengers of God are pure. Yes, Umar ibn al-Khattab needs wudu. Umar ibn al-Khattab, who spread Islam by the sword, he needs wudu. He needs purification. As for a prophet, it doesn't make sense. So number one we have here, let's make a list of this. And I advise you to make a list along with me. So we have a prophet who is not pure when praying. If we move to page number 47, segment 14, it says here what is much worse than what we had just listened to. It states that a man by the name of Abdullah bin Umar, he says, فَرَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ يَقْضِي حَاجَتَهِ مُسْتَدْبِرَ الْقِبْلَةِ مُسْتَقْبِلَ الشَّامِ, which means I saw the messenger of God, I saw the apostle of God in public performing his number one and number two in the middle of the street while facing Sham. Sham basically means Palestine. In another tradition, it says that he was seen مستقبل بيت المقدس. He was seen facing towards Masjid al-Aqsa. Now we have the Palestinians, they're fighting for Masjid al-Aqsa. They're fighting for the Aqsa Mosque in Israel. And here the same Muslims tell us that their Prophet used to do number one and number two facing towards that direction. Deliberately. This is the Prophet you believe in. And this is the Bakri version of the Prophet. This is the Umari version. And a prophet from God in the middle of the street doing number one, number two for everyone to see him. And it gets reported in history after 1,400 years. And you're proud to be following such a prophet? If we come down to page 62, we're still within the first 100 pages. We're still within the first 100 pages. Page number 62. It states, أتى النبي, the Prophet came, فبال قائما, ثم دعا بماء, فجئته بماء فتوضأ. Which basically means, Prophet Muhammad came, and he urinated while standing up. He wanted water, we got him water, then he performed ablution. He performed the wudu in order to pray. The problem is in Australian media, the radical preachers in Sydney tell me and you that if you stand when you urinate, you are doing an act that is like the act of animals. That's what they say. They say only animals stand and urinate. And here the very Prophet stands and urinates. I will show you. I'm not here making things up here. All highlighted in yellow for you. I'll bring it up to the camera. That the Prophet, peace be upon him and his family, urinated when standing. Which means he's a hypocrite. And he has no ethics. According to the Bukhari. And I would love for the Grand Mufti, and I would love for Brother Walid Ali, Dr. Walid Ali, Sister Linda Sarsour, to come and defend their Prophet. This is your book. Either you denounce the book or you denounce the Prophet. Which one is it? So now we have a Prophet who urinates when standing like an animal. Like an animal. And we have number 1 and number 2 in public. This is the book that forms Sharia law. Let's read what's in this book. Come to page 72 of volume 1 of Sahih al-Bukhari. This one here is worse. Yani, as you go deeper into the book, the worse it gets for you. It states here, كان النبي يدور على نسائه في الساعة الواحدة من الليل والنهار وهن 11. قال قلت لأنس أو كان يطيقه؟ قال كنا نتحدث أنه أعطي قوة 30. What does this mean? It means that the Prophet Muhammad used to visit all of his wives, and they were 11, and he would engage with them all in sexual intimacy. And he would do that during the day and during the night. And all 11 of them. And he wouldn't wash himself. He would not wash himself between each wife. So the person who narrated this report, he said, is this true? That Prophet Muhammad has the ability to satisfy 11 women? Here it says, he was given the power of 30 men. Yeah, Bukhari, who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? When you read this is the Prophet Muhammad that we were taught. I didn't bring this from Jupiter. This is the book for the greatest scholar in Islam after the Quran, according to 95% of the Muslims. I didn't make this up. It's in the Bukhari. I'm more than happy to bring this on any platform and we'll debate about it. This is very sad. Very sad. Prophet Muhammad, who you love and you go around killing people for. This is your hypocrisy. This is what you believe about your Prophet. This is the issue when we say ISIS came from Sunni Islam and they are doing what they are doing in Iraq. Everything is focused about the sexual desires that they have. Blow yourself up to get 72 virgins. This is your Prophet. Running around during the day and the night. He has nothing better to do. God sent him to engage in intimacy. He had nothing better to do, according to your most important source. Now this, and we're still on page 72. We're still on page 72, over here. Page 72. We haven't even reached page 100. And it just gets worse. This is volume 1. Volume 1 from Sahih al-Bukhari. As we are going through these books, you will see that the level of intellect and integrity and dignity and respect that the author has when speaking to his people regarding his own Prophet is very low. Very low level of respect when speaking about the Prophet. And none of us would want 1,400 years down the track to have a most important book circulated everywhere, considered sacred, that contains matters of your private lifestyle, matters of how you would deal with your wife. These are shameful things, and these are present in every mosque. And this is why our youth focus on the 72 virgins. Because if their prophet is running around after women 24/7, in the day and in the night, في الليل والنهار, it's written in the book, during the day and during the night, then we cannot blame the radicals for wanting 72 virgins. Now we come to page 221. 221. The chapter of jihad begins. And this is the problem that we have when it comes to jihad. This here is volume 2 from Sahih al-Bukhari, the most sacred book after the Holy Quran. And this here is the chapter of jihad, so nobody says we're making things up. Chapter of jihad. We will open the chapter of jihad that is present in all of our mosques. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for importing these books from overseas. Segment number 7 in chapter 6 of volume 2, page number 223, as I have highlighted for you. I don't know how clear that is. I can provide you with scans if you like. The name of the chapter says it all. The name is called Bab Tamanni al-Shahada. The chapter of loving martyrdom. I want the Grand Mufti to answer me, what does this mean exactly? Because I know they will say it took it out of context. No problem. I'm an Imam and I've taken it out of context. You explain, please. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله والذي نفسي بيده لوددت أني أقتل في سبيل الله ثم أحيا ثم أقتل ثم أحيا ثم أقتل ثم أحيا ثم أقتل. What does that mean? It means that Prophet Muhammad says, I vow by God that I wish that I could be killed for the sake of Allah, then brought back to life, then killed, then brought back to life, then killed, then brought back to life, then killed once again, and then you go become a martyr and you go and you get your 72 virgins. And this is not something that we are just reading. This is not a magazine. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. The authentic. Sahih means authentic. After intense filtration for 1,200 years, this is what we have now come with to form the religion of Islam. So when you see its non-stop attacks towards the West, you know why. Because they themselves wish to die, come back to life, to die again, come back to life, and die and come and non-stop. This love for death that they have, I don't know where it comes from. Do you know where it comes from? It comes from this book. When you wonder, what is the root for terrorism? This book. This here. When the Muslim is taught that your Prophet wishes to die and come back to life once again, just in order to die again, you can't blame the 15-year-old and the 17-year-old and the 22-year-old to want to go and blow themselves up. You cannot blame them. This is in the book. And this book is in Australia. This book is... When I show you, the ABC says I'm playing crazy. When I'm silent, the right says we're crazy. So please, left and right, let me do my job. I'm here to raise awareness. Now, we've finished from an example. These are all examples I'm giving you. I cannot go through the whole book. Examples I'm giving you with regards to jihad. Now, the book, the very volume explains to us why the Prophet would say such a thing. According to Al-Bukhari. Why would the Prophet say such a thing? Very easy. You read in page 348. I'll lift it up again for you. 348. This says, segment number 11, chapter 59. It says, Bab Sifat Iblis wa Junudih. The characteristics of Satan, of Shaitan, of Satan and his soldiers. Then we have a testimony from Aisha. Aisha is the wife of Prophet Muhammad, who was also a terrorist after the life of Prophet Muhammad. She was leading an army that killed many people, tens of thousands of people in Basra, also known by the Battle of the Camel. Aisha, this is the 7-year-old wife, apparently. According to us, according to our evidences, the more reasonable evidences, she was over 18, she was over 20. And we also have evidence that she was married and she had a child before she married Prophet Muhammad. But we won't get into that. All the Muslims haven't agreed upon her age. But what they have agreed upon is that she was either 6 to 13 by the 95% of the Muslims. The majority believe she was underage. Yes, I will not deny. Here, the very lady, Aisha, says, and Aisha, hadith number 3268. She says, سحر النبي حتى كان يخيل إليه أنه يفعل الشيء وما يفعله. It means that the Prophet Muhammad was possessed. He was possessed. He was a crazy, delusional man. To the extent, حتى, she says, حتى كان يخيل إليه, to the point that he would start imagining things. And he would consider that he has done things when he didn't do anything. So when you find the Prophet saying, I want to die and come back and die and come back, it's because they believe he's a delusional man. They believe he's a psychopath. They believe he's being possessed, which is even worse. How can an apostle of God be possessed by jinns? This is what they believe. Page 348. We're not making this up. Let's come to page 377. I want the Grand Mufti to explain, please. Explain in Arabic. I understand Arabic. Explain. We'll have our friends translate for you. No problem. Page 377. It states that the Prophet in 3372, Prophet Muhammad used to doubt in previous prophets, which clearly contradicts the Holy Quran. The Quran says, مَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّن رُسُلِهِ. We do not differentiate between any of God's messengers. Here the Prophet Muhammad says, أن رسول الله قال نحن أحق بالشك من إبراهيم إذ قال رب أرني كيف تحيي الموتى. Prophet Muhammad says that we are more worthy to doubt in the words of God than Abraham when he said, Oh God, show me. How can you give life to the dead person? If someone's dead, how can you give life? Show me. So the Prophet Muhammad himself, according to 95% of the Muslims, was a delusional man. According to Sunni Islam, this is Al-Bukhari. So if your Prophet was doubting in his own message, in the revelation that had come to him, then why do you not allow anyone else to doubt in your Prophet? Why do you always want to paint a good picture? Firstly, reform, get rid of this book, and then we'll start a new platform of understanding what are the good things in the life of Prophet Muhammad that you can learn from. Not this book. We're up to volume 3. Volume 3 from Sahih al-Bukhari. غلط al-Bukhari. Volume 3. And here I have a challenge. I have a big challenge right now. I'll just double check since I turned my live off. Okay, we're still going. To be honest, I stopped taking notes down about everything. I might as well do it now. So now we have a possessed sexually hungry prophet, from what I can remember. Because we need to find the result at the end of the day. This is volume 3. Let me take you to page 462. This one here. Any Muslim from the majority faiths. A big challenge to all of my brothers out there. The Grand Mufti, the Australian National Imams Council, all of my brothers. Sister Linda Sarsour, all of my sisters as well. Sister Linda Sarsour, Yasmin Abdul Majid, Brother Walid Ali, all of the brothers who consider themselves Muslim. This is your book. And this is not any book. This is the number 1 book after the Quran. Page 462 states, Hadith number 5445, segment number 44. The door or the chapter of the dates. Dates. قال رسول الله, it says, the Prophet Muhammad says, من تصبح كل يوم 7 تمرات لم يضره في ذلك اليوم سم ولا سحر. It states over here, because I want to show you the accuracy of this book that is killing our people. I want to show you the accuracy. It says over here, whoever wakes up and eats dates, whether they be 7 or different reports, whoever eats dates will be immune to poisoning during that day. Whoever eats dates will not be affected by any poison. It says over here, sum, which means any poison. Okay. I have a challenge. I have here dates. And I have here kerosene. I have here kerosene. And I have a cup of water. I have an empty cup, a glass. So you can see perfectly. And I have 2 dates over here. My challenge to the Australian National Imams Council. If this book is accurate, that means the Prophet portrayed in the previous volumes we just shown is an accurate portrayal. And you cannot blame anyone for thinking wrong about your Prophet. If it is not true, then denounce. Say this is not a good book. Do not consider it sacred. Because people are dying because of the chapter of jihad. If it is true, then come. Here, I have 2 dates for you. I have 2 dates and it's iftar time. Now you're breaking your fast. 2 dates and I will pour you a cup of kerosene from Bunnings Warehouse. Come drink. Yalla Habibi, come. Come drink, and I want to see how you will not end up in the hospital. If you end up in the hospital, then you have done that to yourself for the sake of your own faith. If you end up dying or you end up with serious injury, then you're a victim of your own faith. This is what you believe in. And if you end up healthy and nothing's wrong with you, I will convert to your faith. I will resign as a Shi'ite Imam and I will come and I will kiss your feet and I will study under you. I will start all over again. If you can prove me wrong, come. I'll pour you 1 cup from this after you have 2 dates so we can see exactly, is this book accurate or no? If it is really the word of God and if it's really what you believe is correct, come. I give you 2 dates plus here kerosene and enjoy. This is nonsense. This is volume 3. Now we're up to volume 4. And volume 4 is a tragedy within a tragedy within a tragedy. Volume 4 from Sahih al-Bukhari. Volume 4 Sahih al-Bukhari. And by the way, the books of the Shia will come next. This is the main Sunni author. Shia authors will come next. I will bring the Shia books and we will see exactly what's going on in this faith. We'll bring them all. The books of Khomeini and the thawing of the underage children, they will all come. So now we have volume 4, because this is very interesting. Because this is very interesting, I'm going to show you the license again of this very volume so nobody says it's a lie. Okay. Now let's go very far away from the whole world of jihad, and I'm pretty sure Islam has something to offer. I'm pretty sure 95% of the Muslims believe in a faith that should have something to offer, yani at least some medicine. Let's take a look at the medicine here. Also page 16. Page 16, it says the chapter of medicine with the urine of the camel. تفضل. Chapter of medicine with the urine of the camel. Medicine, medication, cure with the urine of the camel. Let's read. It states, a group of people came and visited the Prophet in Medina, which means he had a government. I don't believe the Prophet had a government, but I believe he had a strong establishment. We'll speak about the government of the Prophet in a different time. As for now, they came to Medina, where the Prophet had his religion established. And they became sick. What do they do when you become sick and you have the Prophet? He's the best doctor. So they went to the doctor. The best doctor in the opinion of the Australian National Imams Council. The best doctor in the opinion of the Grand Mufti, Dr. Ibrahim Abu Muhammad. The best doctor according to all of the Muslims. The best doctor, the Prophet Muhammad. This is your book, not mine. This is your book. What does the best doctor say to the sick people that came to him? And what did he do when they took his prescription and ran with it? What did he do to them? فأمرهم النبي, they were sick. فأمرهم النبي, he ordered them أن يلحقوا براعيه, that they go after the owner of the camel. يعني الإبل, it states here, يعني الإبل, which means the camel. فيشربوا من ألبانها وأبوالها, to drink from its milk and urine. فلحقوا براعيه فشربوا من ألبانها وأبوالها. Not only did they listen and ignore, no, they actually chased the man who had the camel, and they stopped the camel, and they drank from the camel's urine, and they drank from the camel's milk. حتى صلحت أبدانهم. حتى صلحت أبدانهم. Until their bodies became strong again, and now they have the ability to go back to where they once came on foot, and they're strong, and everything is well. They're no longer sick because of the cure in the camel's urine. So what did they do now that they are strong? فَقَتَلُوا الرَّاعِي وَسَاقُوا الْإِبِلِ. After they drank from the camel's urine, they killed the owner of the camel, and they stole the camel. Now, until now, we have a tragedy. Because if this is real, then we have a tragedy. What is coming up, it's something I cannot call a tragedy. Watch. The Prophet orders them to go and drink urine from the camel. They go, they drink the urine and the milk, and then they kill the owner, they steal the camel, and they come back. Listen to this. فبلغ النبي, the Prophet heard, Prophet Muhammad heard. فبعث في طلبهم فجيء بهم. So he said to his companions, go bring these two people who did this to the owner of the camel. So they brought them. What did Prophet Muhammad do? فقطع أيديهم وأرجلهم, according to them, to the 95% of the Muslims. Ya Grand Mufti, can you please explain? The Prophet here chopped their hands and their legs. Why? Because they stole a camel. It states فَقَطَعَ أَيْدِيَهُمْ وَأَرْجُلَهُمْ وَسَمَّرَ أَعْيُنَهُمْ. And he brought two nails, the nails that you would use for the wall, and he poked their eyes with it. This is a terrorist. What kind of a doctor is this to begin with? You have someone who's sick, comes to you, you refer them to go drink camel urine, and then when they steal the camel and they kill the owner, you chop their hands and their legs, and then you poke their eyes with nails. This is your prophet. This is your prophet. I did not make these books. This is your religion. Here, can you please explain? We just went through 4 volumes, and next week will be the Shi'ite books. These are your volumes. Can you please explain to me? Because what I did now, I translated what is in the book. That's all I did. I did not add anything from myself. I translated what's in the book. Can you please explain if I as an imam have taken it out of context? You please explain to me. How can 4 volumes be taken out of context? How can go drink the urine of the camel be taken out of context? How? But you don't find any of this in this English version that they give you as a gift on the streets of London and in Sydney, because they do not want you to know what's in the book. Therefore, this is the very book that teaches us jihad. And this is the very book that teaches the Muslims how to love their Prophet. We saw their Prophet, and we saw the jihad, and we saw exactly what Bukhari teaches. Dear Grand Mufti, dear Mufti of Egypt, dear Mufti of Lebanon, Mufti of Syria, any Mufti, come defend your Prophet. Can you please respond to me about exactly what's written in these books, and why is it not written in the English version for the people to read? This is not sectarianism. I'm not here to make divisions within the community. I myself, I am an outcast from the community, but I am calling for reformation. We clearly have a problem in the books that we consider to be sacred scriptures. If this is the book you use to interpret the Quran, then you cannot blame people to hate your Quran. You cannot blame people to hate your Quran. If this is the intellect that we are displaying our religion with to the world, then may God be with the world and may God be with the religion. Because this is clearly something wrong. I stand against this book and against the author of this book. And I do not consider it to be sacred at all. And next week I will show you the books of other denominations that need reformation. My purpose here is to show you exactly what needs to be left within Islam. We cannot be reformers if we go to the mosque and we pray behind imams that quote from this book and revere this book and respect this book. The chapter of jihad was more than enough. All we had to read was 1 line. The chapter of jihad makes over 100 pages. I only read for you 1 line. To me, these are all attributions to my Prophet. I do not believe in them at all. I am a kafir in this book. I do not believe in it at all. I believe in the Prophet that loved Moses and loves Jesus. And we have a study, but the problem is only a minority believe in that study. And now we have reached the end of the first show. I honestly pray that you had somewhat benefited from tonight's episode where we raise awareness regarding these books. May God bless you all. Thank you very much for your time, and I will see you in my next live stream. God bless you all and have a good night.